However, the placebo has also a very nasty, evil twin, which is the nocebo effect. If you have a negative expectation, this could result in worsening of your symptoms. In one study, participants were told that their pain will increase after analgesia treatment was stopped. So when the analgesia treatment was stopped, the physiological effect would normally would persist. But in this case, when they were given this information, these participants had, with their negative expectation, cancel out the genuine analgesic effect that they should have felt. Now, another very curious thing is that in recent years, the placebo effect is getting stronger, especially regarding antipsychotic medication, antidepressant, and in the US only, in the analgesic medication. They all show a larger placebo effect. If we compare the placebo effect in the 90s, we find that participants receiving an active drug reported, for example, 27% greater pain relief than participants receiving placebo effect. But in 2013, this difference was just 9%. So the rest of the difference is made by the placebo effect, which is really, really increasing. One explanation is that the general public has become more aware of the placebo effect. And the term placebo nowadays is so strong that it's creating a real problem in drug trials. And nowadays is recommended in clinical trials not to mention the word placebo at all, and to avoid this word in all information or instruction. Otherwise, it interferes. So, talking about the power of the mind, I thought not only to talk about the placebo effect, but also to talk about other very interesting and strange tricks of the mind in our perception. Another very interesting effect is the underdog effect. So, the underdog effect is the art of battling giants, and this battle against giants is usually somebody or someone that is an underdog and triumph against all odds. So, for example, there are many examples of dyslexic becoming highly successful entrepreneurs, an individual living in extreme poverty during the Depression era who rose to become a legendary oncologist, a novice girl joining a basketball team and succeeding through unconventional tactics. All this was written about in a very famous book called David and Goliath. And the theory suggests that successful individuals needs to have somebody that is disadvantaged, because the struggle to succeed against insurmountable odds is important for growth. The underdog effect arises when people observe competition and are drawn to people that are seen as disadvantaged and that are unlikely to prevail. the origin of this effect is believed to be on the idea of inequality, because generally speaking, inequality is regarded as unfair. And by supporting the underdog is a way of restoring a sense of fairness. It's almost a form of compensatory justice. What is very interesting is that as soon as the underdog team become stronger and started to win, this underdog effect in the people that support, in the supporters, diminish. So this is why there is this idea that the underdog effect is part of the need of having a more fair and equal sense of things. Now, in terms of our perception, I think that one important question is if we are able to see out of the box reality. There is a very famous story told by the novelist David Foster Wallace. He's telling a story about two young fish swimming in the sea. And another fish glides by and asks, "How is the water?" To which they look at each other in puzzlement and say, "What's the water?" The point of the story is that we are constantly immersed in a context to which we give little thought or consideration, but to which nevertheless influence us profoundly.